Have you ever just felt like your own body is working against you, especially when you're trying to lose weight? Well, today we are going to tackle one of the biggest myths in health and fitness, and we've got the science to back it all up.
Come on, we've all said it, or at the very least, we've thought it. It's kind of the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card when the number on the scale just won't budge. You look at your friend who seems to eat anything and everything, while you feel like you gained 5 pounds just looking at a piece of bread. It's just so frustrating, and it's an incredibly common feeling.
But what if that very thing, the one thing you've been blaming this whole time, is just a total misunderstanding of how your body actually works? I want you to get ready, because we are about to dive into the science that could completely change how you think about weight loss forever.
Okay, let's just dive right in. To really bust this myth, we first have to get on the same page about what metabolism even is. It's not this, magical internal furnace that runs hot or cold depending on your luck. It's really just the sum of all the energy your body uses, and it's made up of a few key parts. So, the biggest piece of that puzzle, the absolute core of it, is your basal metabolic rate, or BMR for short. This is the baseline number of calories your body burns just to stay alive. We're talking about the energy it takes to power your heart, your brain, your lungs, all the essentials. Think of it as the energy cost of just keeping the lights on, even when you're doing absolutely nothing. Now, this is where that whole slow metabolism idea gets completely flipped on its head. The scientific reality is that a larger body actually requires more energy to function, not less. I mean, it makes sense, right? A 200-pound person just has more cells, more tissue, more body to maintain than a 120-pound person. Their metabolic engine is actually bigger and burns more fuel. It's a faster engine, not a slower one. Okay, so we've established that heavier people generally have faster metabolisms. But what about two people who are the exact same size? How much does that fast versus slow genetic lottery ticket actually matter? And here is the absolute crucial point. For the vast majority of us, the difference between what we'd call a naturally fast metabolism and a naturally slow one is only about 200 to 300 calories a day. That's it. Yes, the difference is real, but it is surprisingly small.
And to put that into perspective, what does 200 to 300 calories actually look like? Well, it's about 1 blueberry muffin, or maybe 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. It's a small handful of almonds. So you see, we're not talking about some insurmountable biological barrier here. The margin for error might be a little smaller for some, but it is a long, long way from being a deal breaker. So if the actual difference in our baseline metabolism is that small, what on earth explains the huge variations we see out there in the real world? If it's not a slow metabolism, then what is the real culprit? Let's go back to that friend. You know, the one who seems to eat whatever they want and never gains an ounce. If their baseline metabolism is probably pretty similar to yours, then what is their secret? Well, the answer has a scientific name, and honestly, it is a total game changer. The secret is something called NEAT. That stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and it is a huge, huge part of your daily energy burn that most of us completely ignore. It's basically all the movement you do that isn't planned exercise, like going to the gym or sleeping or eating. Just think about it for a second. That person who's always tapping their foot, or the one who paces around when they're on a phone call, or just choosing to take the stairs or standing up to stretch a few times a day, all those little tiny movements add up, and they can burn hundreds of extra calories every single day without ever stepping foot in a gym. And the difference can be absolutely staggering. Let's take two people with the exact same BMR. Person A, who's pretty sedentary, might burn 200 calories through NEAT, but person B, who's more of a natural fidgeter or pacer, could burn 800 calories. That is a 600 calorie difference in their daily burn, starting from the exact same metabolic point. So that friend with the quote-unquote magical metabolism, it's not magic. It's almost certainly that they just have a much higher NEAT. What we see as some kind of amazing biological advantage is often just a behavioral pattern, a habit of more frequent, often subconscious movement. Okay, so how can we be so sure about all of this? How do we move past these stories and anecdotes and get to the undeniable proof that your metabolism isn't the prison you think it is? Well, we turn to the absolute gold standard of metabolic research, the metabolic chamber. These are basically sealed rooms where scientists can precisely measure every single calorie a person burns. They do it by analyzing the oxygen you consume and the carbon dioxide you produce. There is no guesswork. There's no estimating. It is pure, precise measurement. And guess what happens when you put people in these chambers and you perfectly control their calorie intake? The whole slow metabolism excuse, it just vanishes. It disappears. When the calories you take in are truly less than the calories you burn, everybody loses weight.
every single time, no exceptions.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to an unbreakable law of physics, the law of thermodynamics. It's simple. When you create an energy deficit, your body has to get that energy from somewhere. And its only real option is to tap into its stored fuel reserves, which is your body fat. This isn't a theory, it's a law, and it applies to every single one of us.
So, we've officially busted the myth with cold, hard science. Now, what does all of this actually mean for you? Let's put it all together and figure out a new path forward. This right here, this is the core mindset shift. You have to stop seeing your metabolism as some fixed, unchangeable barrier that's holding you back. It's a dynamic system. And the biggest lever you have for change isn't some magic pill to boost your baseline rate, it's your daily movement, your NEAT. Let's just be absolutely crystal clear on this. Your body is not broken. Your metabolism doesn't get to defy the laws of science. You are a human being, and the fundamental laws of physics apply to you just like they apply to everybody else on this planet.
And this knowledge isn't supposed to be discouraging. It's meant to be liberating. It means you have far more control than you ever thought possible. So the real question is this: now that you know you are not trapped by your biology, what are you going to do with that freedom?